All right, now what we're going to do here is we're going to discharge and recharge a fire extinguisher, right?
Right.
Okay, show me how you do it. So this one's already been discharged.
This one's already been discharged.
All right.
This is the basic idea how you do it. If it was still had powder in it,
okay,
you'd hook up the nozzle, you'd undo this.
Yep.
So the powder can flow inside here. It goes through a filter.
Yeah.
So now you're all discharged. So you would take this out like that, the filter fitting out, and you put it into a vise. Then you would unscrew it, and then you would blow out the head.
All right, we're cleaning it out.
Cleaning it out, so you would blow out the head.
Got it. And what's in the head? What's the material in the head that you're blowing out?
Monoammonium phosphate.
Okay.
The ABC dry chemical. So now we're ready to fill them.
All right.
So we're going to put the powder back in.
Yep.
What we just took out.
So it's a powder. What's it called?
Monoammonium phosphate.
Okay. And that's what puts the fire out.
Yes.
All right. So how do you know how much powder to put in there?
This is going to tell you. This machine is going to tell you it's going to actually overflow.
Okay.
When it's full.
Yeah, it's got a gauge on it.
It's got a gauge on it.
So it's actually a dry powder.
It's a dry chemical.
Okay, so it's not under pressure then.
No. See how it just overflowed?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So we're going to do this and we get a little bit more in there. But after we're done rebuilding the top, we're going to go ahead and weigh it to make sure there's enough powder in there.
Okay.
And if there's not, we're going to top it off.
All right, so we're doing another one here.
We're doing another one. There's got two to do.
All right. So now we're going to rebuild the head. Is that what we're doing here?
Yes.
Okay. So we're unscrewing it?
Right, we're unscrewing it. These parts have been in there for 6 years. You see how
that's a gasket.
they're compromised, right? The O-ring.
Okay.
It's too messed up.
Right.
I mean, it's too flat.
Got it.
And then you got the valve stem in there, and the same with the valve stem. Thing's been sitting in here under pressure for 6 years.
Right.
So you don't want to reuse those.
Right.
So now you got, you still have powder in these things. So you take your solution.
Yeah. What's the solution?
It's simple green.
Okay. Clean it up.
Which is mild, just mild cleaner.
Cleaning the threads.
Yeah, clean it. Make sure everything's nice and clean. You don't want it to leak.
All right.
Make sure the inside is nice and clean. Roll out the compressed air. Get rid of these.
Like you've done it a million times, right?
A million times.
Just a million times. You do it in your sleep, probably. You probably do it in your sleep, don't you, Chris? Huh?
Absolutely.
Do you feel a fire extinguisher in your sleep?
I dream.
Do you dream fire extinguishers? All right.
So put a little lube on there to keep the O-ring nice and moist.
Okay.
As it's up there for 6 more years.
Yeah. What's that spring for?
6 more years.
That's just a. What's the spring for that you put in there?
For the valve stem, so the valve stem can come back up.
Okay, great, great.
Just like that.
So Chris, every 6 years, what has to be done?
They have to be broken down and recharged every 6 years.
Just like you're doing
this. Discharged. Well, yeah, there's 2 different procedures.
All right.
One is just a recharge. Here. And when these fire extinguishers are 12 years old, they need to be hydro tested, which they need to be filled up with water, and they need to be pressurized.
Okay.
Most of them are 585 pounds.
Yep.
And that's what this machinery is over here. So
okay, so when you walk up to an extinguisher that's on the wall and you just recertify it,
right,
that's because it's less than 6 years old.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Or less
it's
than
been
6 years.
6 years since the last time it was recharged.
Okay. How do you know what distinguishes it? What tells you it's been recharged 6 years ago? How do I know that?
Either the manufacturer's date.
Yep.
Or the sticker on the back.
Ah, okay. Okay.
So your 2010.
So it's labeled. Got it.
Right. And then there's your manufacturer's date, 2004. So
Got
it's
it.
6 years.
Okay. All right.
So, and here's your equipment right to your left. That's the hydro test equipment.
Oh.
Which is your dryer, your water tank.
Okay.
Your water pump,
Right.
which is down here, your water filter,
Right.
and then here's your hydro test pump. So you would hook the fitting up there, the fire extinguisher is full of water, and you would pressurize this to 585 pounds.
Okay.
And your the water pump. So it shoots the water inside your tank and it recirculates it through the filter.
Okay. And what are these, dryers?
That's a dryer.
You
It
put
dries your fire extinguisher when you're done.
Ah, got it. All right, we've cleaned the head.
Clean the head. We've labeled the head, which is important. You have to put the same valve on the same body.
Right, okay.
So everything's labeled 5 and 5. So I know this one goes over there. These things need to be about 8 pounds.
All right.
Blow out the head, make sure there's no obstruction in the hose. And you're a little bit light.
We're weighing it. Okay.
You're a little light.
Got to be 8 pounds, you say?
It'll be about 8 pounds.
All right. So what happens is you fill the tube the first time and the powder settles, right?
Right. The powder settles.
So we got a little bit more room now, and
you got a little more wiggle room. So right around 8, 9, because you got to account for the weight.
Right.
8, 9, 8, 10. So you account for the weight. So we're 8 pounds.
8 pounds.
Yeah, 8 pounds.
Good deal. Rock and roll.
Right.
All right, so we've got our weight right. So now what are we going to do, Chris?
We're going to pressurize the fire extinguisher with nitrogen.
All right, why
To
nitrogen?
195 pounds. Nitrogen is dry. It has no moisture in it.
Okay.
So that's why compressed air has moisture, and that'll clog up the powder, and the fire extinguisher won't discharge properly.
And what's that jelly you're putting on there
It's
now?
the same thing as I use for the valve stem.
Okay,
It,
just a
keeps
lube.
everything wet. Yeah,
Right,
it keeps
okay.
it nice so it doesn't dry out. 5 and 5. And this way the fire extinguisher closes real nice.
Right.
This is where it's supposed to close.
Right. Line up.
Just like that, line
Right.
up. And the only reason it did that because I put the same head on the same valve.
Right. Gotcha.
And then you get your fitting.
That's just what's going to put the nitrogen in there, right?
Right.
Okay. And then you've got a mirror there with a gauge. We're going to watch that gauge. Go ahead. Put it right up.
A little bit more. Right there, it's good. You're done.
Good. So there's no moisture in the tank right now.
No moisture and nitrogen, right?
Good.
Right. No moisture and nitrogen, so it's dry. It doesn't cake the powder.
Put your discharge hose on.
Right.
And our label matches right up with our gauge.
Everything matches right up real
Everything
nice.
lines up real nice, so you know what to read, you know what to do. The pin goes in.
And goes in. And your tamper seal.
Tamper seal. So when you walk up to a extinguisher and that tamper seal's not on there, you know it's already been discharged, right?
Well, not necessarily.
Yeah.
You still got to check. You would open this up. You would open the hose up immediately, and you would see inside there. If it's clean like it is,
Yeah.
then somebody just maybe just bumped it or dropped it, or
Oh, okay.
maybe they just broke it off, or they were doing something and they hit it and it broke.
What color is
So,
that powder?
It's yellow.
It's yellow. So if I see yellow powder in those threads, I know it's been discharged.
Yes.
Okay.
Any kind of powder in the threads, but yes,
Yeah.
it's yellow powder.
Okay, so now we're doing our certification tag.
Right. Let me put the serial number on there.
Okay. All right.
You're done.
Good job. Certified. 2 extinguishers. Thanks, Chris.
You're welcome.